In a maths exam, you may find that you have to answer questions which revolve around working with charts. They could be bar charts or scatter graphs or pie charts, which we're going to look at here in this presentation. And we're going to show you how to create a pie chart based on information given in a table. The reason for this is that the process for working this out is slightly different from what you may have to follow when you're trying to put information into a bar chart, for example. While you're working through this presentation, you may use a calculator while working through this content. So a pie chart shows data in a 360-degree circle, and the circle is split into sections showing how much each part of the data it contains is worth. So we have a pie chart here demonstrating the main causes of stress for people. There are 4 sections representing the percentages of issues, the percentage number of people who cite each of these 4 issues as their main cause of stress. Now, a pie chart is created out of information that would be collected in a table. So based on the chart that we saw on the previous page, we have the causes of stress written here in this part of the table and the number of people who cited it as a main cause of stress in this second column here. 128 people cited workload as the main cause of stress, 94 cited personal issues. Maintaining a work-home balance was cited by 52 people as an issue, and worry over job security was cited by 21 people as a main issue. In total, there were 295 people who were in the survey which gave us this information. Now, we're going to convert that into a pie chart. As I say, a pie chart is made up of a 360-degree circle. We have to calculate how many degrees of the circle each part of this data represents. We have to start by finding out how many people in that data would represent 1 degree of the pie chart. In order to do that, we divide 360, which is the total number of degrees in the pie chart, by the amount of people or things in your data set. So that table was taken from the findings of 295 people. So our first stage would be to do 360 divided by 295. And that gives an answer of 1.22 to 2 decimal places. So each person on the pie chart will be represented by 1.22 degrees. So now we're going to multiply the number of people in each category by 1.22 so as to find out what angle of the pie chart each section would represent. So the 128 people who cited workload as their main cause of stress, we would do 1.22 times 128, and that would give us an angle in the pie chart of 156 degrees. The 94 people who cited personal issues as the problem, we'd do 1.22 times 94, and they would make up 115 degrees in the chart. The 52 people whose main cause of stress was maintaining a healthy work-life balance, we'd multiply 1.22 times 52. They would represent 63 degrees of the chart. And the 21 people whose main cause of stress was lack of job security, 1.22 times 21, they would represent 26 degrees of the chart. We would then need to add all of those figures up to ensure that they add up to 360, which they do. 156 plus 115 plus 63 plus 26 equals 360. And I've made a pie chart out of that information. See the number of people in each category that cited the different elements as stressful, and the percentage that they take up within the pie chart. It doesn't show the angles, unfortunately. This was done with Microsoft Excel, which I wasn't able to find a way of being able to demonstrate the angle within the circle. However, if we look at it, we can see to the naked eye that our angles are correct. We worked out in the first instance that people citing workload as a main cause of stress, which is the blue section here, that came to 156 degrees in the pie chart. And 156 degrees, that's between 90 degrees, which is what we would get with a right angle, and 180 degrees, which would be the halfway mark in the chart. 156 degrees, that sits between those two figures. It's closer to 180 than 90, and we can see where it comes round to. It's close to 180, so it's roughly in the right area. The 115 degrees, which we worked out, which was for people citing personal issues as their main cause of stress, 115 degrees, that is over a 90-degree angle. So we can see that it wouldn't be, this orange section here would not come down as a full right angle. It would be just over 90 degrees. So again, that works as a 115-degree figure. And the work-life balance and the lack of job security, they were 63 degrees and 26 degrees respectively. 63 plus 26 equals 89. So we can see that the two of them together clock in just a shade under 90 degrees. So they're just a little under a right angle, but not by much. And the two of them together would make up this final part of the pie chart. And that works out 89 degrees, so just under 90 degrees. And we can see both of them together with the work-life balance showing a larger percentage or a larger degree of the pie chart than the number of people worried about lack of job security. So we're going to get you to try one in a moment, but just as a recap, in order to work it out, you would take your table of information, divide 360 by the total of data in your data set, and then multiply your answer by each part of your data set so that you can find out how many degrees each part of it should take up in your pie chart. So here's the activity for you to try. I'm going to get you to use the information below to work out how many degrees in a 360-degree pie chart each team would make up. What we have here is the top 6 in the Premier League last season and the number of goals that each team scored. We also have the total number of goals that all 6 teams scored together when we add that up. So what we're going to do is we're going to find out how many degrees each team's goal tally would represent in a pie chart. So start by dividing 360 by 450, which is the total number of goals scored. And then when you have your answer, multiply each team's goal tally by the answer you got to 360 divided by 450. And what I would recommend is that where possible, you show your answer to 1 decimal place. I'm going to stop speaking now. You may like to pause the video in order to do this calculation. And when I finish speaking, there will be 10 seconds before the next slide appears. So following it through, this is what we got. So we took the 360 degrees of the pie chart, divided it by the 450 goals that have been scored in total. That gave us an answer of 0.8. So each one goal would represent 0.8 degrees. And then we multiplied the number of goals each team had scored by 0.8, and it gave us the following answers. So Liverpool's 85 goals when multiplied by 0.8 would be worth 68 degrees. Manchester City's 102 goals when multiplied by 0.8 would equal 81.6 degrees. Manchester United's 66 goals when multiplied by 0.8 would equal 52.8. Chelsea's 69 goals when multiplied by 0.8 would represent 55.2 degrees. Leicester City's 67 goals when multiplied by 0.8 would represent 53.6 degrees. And finally, Tottenham Hotspur's 61 goals when multiplied by 0.8 would equal 48.8 degrees. And the reason why I said do the degrees to 1 decimal place where possible is because when we add all of those figures up, including the 1 decimal place spots, they add up to 360, whereas I found when I rounded the numbers up to the nearest whole number, I ended up with answers of 361 degrees. Just to finish with, I'm just going to show you how that process can be reversed. You may get given a question in which you're shown a pie chart, which is split into angles, and you have to work out the value of each section. So I'm going to use the table in the last activity, but with a slight tweak to it. So we have the top 6 teams in the Premier League and the degrees within the pie chart that their goal tallies took up, but it doesn't tell us how many goals each team scored. The only information about a number of goals that we have is the total number of goals that were scored by all 6 teams, which comes to 450. Without that, we wouldn't be able to do the calculation. So we would start by doing what we do each time. We would divide 360 by 450, and that would give us an answer of 0.8. But this time we will divide the degrees in the pie chart by 0.8, whereas before we multiplied the number of goals scored by 0.8 in order to work out the angles. This time we're going to divide the angles, the degrees in the pie chart, by 0.8 so we can find out how many goals each team scored. And when we do that, we can see here 68 degrees divided by 0.8 equals 85 for Liverpool. For Manchester City, 82 degrees divided by 0.8 equals 102 goals. For Manchester United, 53 degrees divided by 0.8 equals 66 goals. Chelsea's figures, 55 degrees divided by 0.8 equals 68 goals. Leicester City, 54 degrees divided by 0.8 equals 67 goals. And for Tottenham Hotspur, 49 degrees divided by 0.8 equals 61 goals. So in summary, a pie chart is a 360-degree circle. Work out how much of your data set is equivalent to 1 degree by dividing 360 by the total amount of data in your data set. To find out the angle each part of your data is worth, multiply the 1 degree figure by each part of your data set. And to find out how much each value is worth in a pie chart, divide the angle by the 1 degree figure. If you would like further work on this, log into BKSB and click on Maths Reforms, click on Statistics and Data, and then go to Handling Information and Data. The Level 1 resource contains further work with pie charts, and I wish you good luck.